and welcome to a new episode of Airport Update here from Philadelphia International Airport. The aviation industry is still in the middle of what is probably going down as its biggest crisis ever, and of course the airport here is also being affected by that. A few weeks back, the airport had to take the drastic measure of closing 2 of its 3 terminals, and that also meant furloughing a lot of its staff. However, the airport has been able to bring some of them back into active service as there is increased cargo activities at the airport. This is of course happening after many of the PAX traffic routes have been closed, at least temporarily, and of course many passenger aircraft are also taking a considerable amount of air freight. That is now not possible, and that means that cargo airlines are ramping up their operations here at the airport. Terminal A has been closed now for a few weeks. Nevertheless, there are still plenty of aircraft parked right in front of it. All of them are in fact from American Airlines. While all wide-body aircraft of American Airlines have been moved out of Philadelphia and moved to long-term storage, the single-aisle aircraft here for short and medium-haul routes have been kept in temporary storage here at the airport, and that is of course in case they need to be reactivated on short notice in case demand should rise. But it is not all doom and gloom over here at Terminal A, because we do actually have a little bit of activity with this Boeing 727 of UPS. It came in from Newark 40 minutes ago, right now is being loaded for its next flight going out to Cincinnati. And right across the street from the 727 we have our lovely Bongo Inn, the airport hotel here at Philadelphia International Airport. That however has to remain closed for now. The only active terminal here at the airport, at least when it comes to passenger traffic, is Terminal B. And over here we find an Airbus A319-100 of United Airlines that came in earlier today from Chicago. It will now remain here at the airport overnight before it then returns in the morning at 7:35 back out again to Chicago O'Hare. Next to the United, we have an American Eagle CRJ-900 right now in pushback. The aircraft arrived 9:15 in the evening from Knoxville, had its turnaround here at the airport, and will now be heading out to Gunnison Airport, which is the airport of Cincinnati Spotter 210 and part of the Western Rocky Mountains Airports group. Next we have an Airbus A319 from American Airlines, which came in about 40 minutes ago from Dallas-Fort Worth. The aircraft is currently also in its turnaround and taking on some last cargo. The aircraft is scheduled to go out in about 25 minutes, then to Cleveland. A lovely little Airbus A220-100 of Delta Airlines has found its way here to Philadelphia. The aircraft came in from Minneapolis about 8:15 in the evening and had some time here at the airport. Now it is starting preparations for its next flight, which will be going out to Atlanta. Now, while there is no international passenger traffic at the airport at the moment, there is still a lot of traffic and activities on the other side of the airfield. The airport management has worked hard to transform the stands of the international part of Terminal B and C into temporary cargo stands to meet up with the higher demand of air freight. So that is the explanation for this a little bit unusual site here at the international stands of Terminal B, where we have a 747-400F of national airlines. The aircraft came in from Amsterdam packed full with cargo and is still currently being offloaded, although it is only the last cargo left inside the cargo hold of the aircraft. Next up will be a night flight out to Bermuda. Then in theory we have two stands, however that has been converted into basically one, because we have another cargo arrival, which is a 747-8F of Cargolux, which will occupy that free space. This aircraft has just arrived from Luxembourg and will stay here overnight and then leave in the morning hours again back out to Luxembourg. These are truly strange times, and I'm sure no one would have ever expected to look out of the windows of Terminal C onto the airfield and see cargo aircraft occupying stands that normally would be filled with passenger aircraft, and especially not this one, this massive Antonov 225, an absolutely enormous aircraft, and what an arrival here at the airport. The aircraft came in from Anchorage full with medical equipment and will now be staying here for a couple of hours. 10 minutes past 2 is the scheduled departure, which will bring the aircraft to Kazakhstan, and more specifically Almaty. Well, the Antonov 225 clearly dwarfs any other aircraft here at the airport, so you might be tempted to say that the next one is a small one, but of course it is still a quite large cargo aircraft. It is in fact a 777-200F of ASL Airlines Belgium. The aircraft came in earlier today from Liège. It is now ready to push as soon as the Luxair has cleared the taxiway, and then it will be heading out for a flight to San Francisco. Not in pushback, but right now being refueled and starting to take on first cargo for its next flight is this 767-300F of UPS. The aircraft arrived earlier today from Windsor Lux and will now be prepared for its next flight, bringing the aircraft out to Louisville. Scheduled departure is 17 minutes past midnight. So those were the aircraft that we have here alongside the terminals, but we do of course also have some remote stands, so let's head over there. Still in temporary storage are these three American Eagle aircraft, two of which are Embraer ERJ-145s and one CRJ-700. The CRJ-700 was moved, and that was out of concern that the Antonov 225 could have clipped the tail of the aircraft while taxiing into its ramp. So airport staff decided not to take any chances and moved the aircraft. Occupying another of the remote stands is another Antonov, but the smaller sister, the Antonov 124, still a very big aircraft. The aircraft arrived from Keflavik a few minutes to 7 in the evening, full with medical equipment, and has already been completely offloaded. Now the aircraft will remain here at the airport grounds overnight before it will be heading out in the morning hours, 8:45 more specifically, to Chicago, where it takes on its next task. And then at last we have the 757-200F of UPS, which has just been pulled out of the ramp. The aircraft arrived earlier this evening from Minneapolis and is now almost ready to go for its next flight, which will bring the aircraft to Newark. So while the current situation is rather tough for everyone, obviously there is some glimmer of hope here at the airport with increased activities. While it's not passenger traffic, at least in the cargo sector, it does ensure and secure jobs here at the airport. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like. That really does help us out. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.